Well, welcome to part 4 of my 2010 breeding season. As you can see, the young are now all feathered up and are either just on the edge of the nest, or as in some down here, the 4 they are out the nest and they're moving around quite freely. Look, and the hen has actually started laying eggs for her second clutch. There's the 2 which have laid in the seed pot, now feathered up. These are a week or so behind the others because it took her a long while to make up her mind where to lay, so they're a bit behind. And I'm a bit concerned about the young one we can see there. It's feeding alright, calling for food, but it's actually the same age as those 2, so there's something not quite right with that bird. That young chicken, it will probably die, but I'll leave it to see how it goes on. It may be I think if it wasn't eating, you know, I'll be a bit more concerned, but it looks a bit it looks in a bit of a sad way, to be honest. Let's have a look over here. There's the ones with the 3. The hen is actually sitting again. She's got 4 eggs, and there you can see the lovely young birds, all in the juvenile feathers. They're all ringed now. I'll start colour feeding them in probably about 4 weeks time, and then they'll start to molt out. You'll start to see the red colour in the feathers. There's the muley pair. She's sitting on 2 eggs. They actually look like they could be fertile because I put them up against a bright light, and they look like they're solid, so we could actually have a couple of young mules in there by the next couple of days. I'm keeping an eye on what's going off in the cages, because you often have a lot of trouble with the hen plucking all the feathers out of the young chicks to try and make another nest, and if you don't keep an eye on it, you sometimes can end up with bold chicks that actually will take all the feathers, and in which case, if I start to see that happening, I will actually put a metal slider in between, keeping the young on one side and the adults on the other. They can feed through the wire, you know, so they'll still feed them, but it'll stop them plucking all the feathers out of the young birds, because they will end up bald if you leave them. You can see 1 or 2 of the young have got, I don't know if you can see or not, have got black feathers, which we call it ticks. It's got in other words, some black pigment in the feather. So there, look, it's got sort of a slight black cap on its head, and this young one down there has got black feathers on its back. Most of the others are all clear. We won't know yet if they're intensive or non-intensive until we start to colour feed, and then it shall start to pick out the intensive and non-intensive feather type. So there's another one with a black cap on. There you can see. Okay, right, we'll see you again in another week or so probably, and see them growing up.